Messi! Messi!
Gonna heave one is a trick, and Pat Garrity
Hi ladies and gentlemen, I am Jacob Rudner here alongside Noah Cameras and Ariel Putterman, and welcome back to dTSPN. This week, like every week, we're going to be starting it off with fantasy advice, and to kick that off, we're going to be doing our fan fantasy question of the week. If you want your question heard on the air in our next episode, make sure to send that in either through the comments below at dTSPN 2015 on Twitter or on Instagram at dTSPN. Our first question this week is from Jonathan Shimano, and he's asking us, will Jameis Winston be a fantasy hero for the rest of the season? What do you think?
I think right now you should stash him on your bench. He's got two hard defenses. He got Kansas City Chiefs and then Seattle Seahawks the next 2 weeks, so those are hard matchups. But after that, he's got the Chargers and the Saints twice, and I think he's going to be a good start then. So right now, put him on your bench. Let him sit on your bench for the next 2 weeks, and then start him.
Our second question is from Tommy Tall, and he's asking us, should he trade LeGarrette Blount with Dion Lewis coming back, or should he hold on to Blount? What do you think?
I'm going to say you trade LeGarrette Blount, not even because of Dion Lewis, just in general. I think that's too hard. I think it's too risky to have one of those Patriot running backs, unless it's Dion Lewis who will get the PPR points in a PPR league. I mean, with Lewis coming back, you have Lewis, you have White, and I think the Patriots are going to pass a lot. They play the Niners, the Jets, the Rams, the Ravens. I mean, Tom Brady's going to torch those defenses, and I see the running backs being Lewis and White that get the most of the PPR points and not much of LeGarrette Blount.
So our second section of fantasy is a new thing. It's called the 1 minute drill. Basically what that is we're going to put a minute on the clock, and then we're going to go around and we're going to give bold predictions that can potentially help you guys in fantasy this week. We're going to start with you. What do you have?
I'm going to say Colin Kaepernick will be a top 5 quarterback this week in the really high scoring game against the Patriots.
My first one's going to be that Jay Ajayi runs for at least 150 yards this week, even though he did not break 100 last week.
I'm going to say that Larry Fitzgerald has less than 50 receiving yards against a very good Vikings defense this week.
I'm going to say Doug Martin, who's been injured this year. He's going to have 100-plus rushing yards and a touchdown. He'll get back to that normal self.
So this one really depends on whether or not Dion Lewis plays this week. So should he play, I think that he breaks 80 yards and he has at least 1 touchdown this week.
I'm going to say that Kenny Britt has a really big week. I think he's going to have 100 receiving yards and a touchdown, but the Rams will still lose.
In that same game, I have Jarvis Landry. This year, he's only had 1 touchdown. He only has 2 games with over 100 yards. I think he's going to break that streak. I think he's going to get over 100 yards. He'll get a touchdown. He'll torch the Rams defense.
On Monday night, I think that Latavius Murray goes absolutely wild against the Texans, even though the Texans have had some pretty solid run defense.
I think Tyreek Hill of the Chiefs is going to have a big week. I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to say that Tom Brady is going to go off this week against the Niners. Probably get 400-plus passing yards, and he'll probably have around 4 touchdowns.
Moving on to our third segment of the day, we have college basketball. The season's just getting started, so we're going to kick that off by talking about some hot players right now, some guys to look into and to follow right now because they really are playing well. Who's our first person?
Our first guy is Josh Jackson from Kansas. He's our small forward. He's really, really highly ranked. He's probably going to go first overall this year as long as he does well, and he's expected to explode in Kansas.
Who's our second person?
I'm going to say our second person is Lonzo Ball of UCLA. He's already looked really good with this Bruins team, and I think that with him, they can make a big run in March Madness this year.
Our next person, too.
Jason Tatum, another small forward from Duke. He has probably the most potential in college basketball this year. He's going to lead this Duke team places far.
And our fourth and final player from college basketball is going to be who and why?
It's going to be Markelle Fultz of Washington. He's a point guard, and right now he scored 30 points in his college debut, and he's probably going to be one of the top picks this year. So it's definitely someone to watch out for.
So we gave you guys some players. Now we're going to give you some sneaky teams to watch out for. It's just some teams that could potentially have some huge seasons. Who's our first one and why?
My first one's Arizona. They already had a huge win against Michigan State with a game-winning layup. And they have a really great recruiting class. They have a great coach in Sean Miller. And they have a great player, Alonzo Trier, who might be suspended. We don't know. But if he plays, he'll be even way better.
And our second team is who and why?
Our second team is Indiana. They had a big win against one of the teams that looked like a top 3 team, Kansas. And I think that they're going to be a very strong team. They're always one of the top teams in the league. And I think that they're going to continue that this year.
Moving on to our fourth and final segment, it's going to be what we do every single week. It's our soccer matchup of the week. This one's going to be Arsenal versus Manchester United this Saturday at Old Trafford. Definitely tune into that one if you're interested in soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of dTSPN. Remember, if you want your fan question featured on next week's episode, make sure to send that in either through the comments below on Twitter at dTSPN 2015 or on Instagram at dTSPN. And make sure to tune into our top 5 highlights at the end of the video. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
They run out of gas.
Pacers running. T all the way down. Dunks it.
Oh, he made a nice move. He actually thought he was going to pass it and actually pass it to himself off the dribble.
He's got a 6-point quarter. 9 now for Teague, and the Pacers by 10. Browning again. The long ball wide open on the
side. John Ross. Touchdown, Washington. 70 yards.
Watch him on the left side of your screen. As he tries to get out of his back pedal, he slips. The safety wasn't expected to help over the top. That was straight man-to-man for Adoree.
5 seconds to go. Mason, the pull-up jumper. Yes! 1.8. Jackson to inbound. Matt Jones. And Kansas will win it.
Led by 3 with 7.1 remaining. Westbrook shows from the basketball. Goes to the rim! And sticks the dagger into the Rockets. Rookie kicker. And it's blocked. Simmons blocked it. Running back with it is Parks. Down the sideline. Parks takes it all the way back. And Denver takes the lead at 25-23.